Good morning. To you all, thank you for taking us out of turn and hearing our testimony this morning on this subject about which we have been hearing so much. My name is Denise, Provost, State Representative from Somerville. And since the change in the emergency assistance regulations, I have been hearing a lot from advocates in my community, from pediatricians, but also tellingly from the liaison for homeless students for our school district. You probably know that under No Child Left Behind and under the McKinney-Vento laws, such a position has to exist in every school district. Although because having such a position is an unfunded mandate, this is usually an additional job handed to some school department employee who has 2 or 3 other titles. And so in addition to their other tasks, they effectively become full-time social workers for homeless families. What I'm hearing about the new emergency assistance regulations is that they have created a new bottom in housing. It was difficult enough in the school department to take care of families living in shelters or other kinds of temporary quasi-homelessness. But from some of these examples that I am hearing from my community, we have gone to a new low in dangerous and difficult situations for which families to live and out of which we can hardly expect students to learn. One of the families that has sought help in our school district is a divorced single mom who works as a cleaner. She has daughters in the 3rd grade and the 7th grade. They rented a room in a house where many people rent rooms as a living accommodation. But the occupant of that room did not move out. And so this family of 3 is in the doorless living room of a house full of men. There are 6 men living in the house. They do a lot of drinking. The daughters of this family and the mother are afraid to use the bathroom at night. The girls are afraid to go to this accommodation after school when their mother is not there, when she's out cleaning, because of what they may encounter. This family went to DTA with an advocate from a community organization, was turned down for shelter. A DCF assessment was requested and denied. Another family in our school district is a woman who also has 2 daughters. She moved from Malden last year after she was evicted to live with her mother in Somerville, but her brother and his family have subsequently moved into the house, and there is not room for all of them. The woman's 1st grade daughter has gone to live with her father. The 6th grader is staying with a family friend, and the mom is couch surfing. Wherever she wakes up in the morning, she gets on a bus to go pick up her 6th grader and take her to school. They have no prospects of a more stable living situation. They've been evicted. They're not eligible for emergency assistance, and this is how they are living. The 3rd story I will tell you about is a situation in which a woman, an employed woman, was living in a little basement apartment with her sons who were 20 and 11. Her 20-year-old son was also working. The city condemned the building because it did not comply with the sanitary code. A friend of this woman told her that she and her sons could live in the little unheated laundry room of their apartment building. And this is where the woman and her sons have been living. They have been to DTA, they have been denied shelter. And the 11-year-old continues to go to school, although I'm told that living in the laundry room without heat is affecting his health. The individual who is the liaison for homeless students in our family is distraught over these situations and the lack of mobility of any kind for these families. The fact that they've been turned down, that there is no alternative for them seemingly except to go on living in these situations of quasi-shelter, quasi-homelessness. And I have to wonder how students living in these situations can possibly learn, how they can possibly achieve in school. This is because Somerville is one of those communities that is, branded by DESE as having low MCAS scores. The fact that we are doing our best to take care of families in these situations doesn't get us any credit with DESE. We will continue to be considered an underperforming community because although we are doing our best to help all children learn, children are in declining circumstances. Our liaison for homeless students has told me that the number of homeless families being served by the district is on the rise. Despite efforts to find even temporary shelter for these families, they are living in situations like those I described. And there is no end in sight. I implore you to make some kind of modification in your policies to accommodate these families. As far as resources, there are empty buildings all over my city. The building across, multifamily home across the street from us has been empty. It was 4 years in January. But somebody was paying property taxes until last spring. Since then, the city has petitioned for receivership for that building with the Attorney General's office. But it will take almost another year for anything to happen. The bank has since foreclosed, but they declined to make the repairs necessary to bring this house up to habitable standards. There's another empty foreclosed building just down around the corner. And I could go on with others. There has to be some way in this Commonwealth to take these vacant units of housing and make them available somehow in an expeditious way to families who are desperately in need of shelter. And from every indication in my community, yes, there are families this desperate. Thank you for your kind attention.